Hey guys, welcome back to Musings by Nikki. I am here today with July Artzology stuff, design team project. So we're going full on arty maze today. You see that? What's that? That's gesso. So we're gonna make this, and we're using these, which are these beautiful, I mean, look how bright and colorful these are, you guys. They are gorge. Oh, every single one of them, I flip through them and I'm like, oh, I love that one. And then I go, oh, I love that one. So you get 44 of these with this kit. This is the kit. I wrote it down so I'd remember. It's called 44 Vintage Seed Packet. I think it might say packet labels, but it's kit number 120 in Deb's shop, which is Artzology, and of course I'll have the link below. And the point of making this collaged sheet, this is thick. It's on this really bright pink cardstock. And what I'm doing is making these kind of just collaged sheets that I'm going to end up cutting into tags and probably putting, you know, like backing it with some sort of other paper on the back, because that is really bright pink. So yeah, let's do this. This is what we're gonna do. This is gonna be step one today. We'll do this, and then I'll come back, and in the next few days, of course, now we're getting to the 4th of July. My 11-year-old, soon to be 12-year-old's birthday is on the 5th of July. So, this week is just a real, starting tomorrow, it gets crazy in my house. So I'm breathing hard just thinking about it. So I'm just trying to get this in really quick here, because I want to film step 2 if I can, but it takes just a little while for this to dry all the way. So here's what we're doing. Here's what we're starting with. So I got 2 pieces of cardstock. They are just plain cardstock, and I have already inked the edges. That's right, you're welcome. You don't have to watch me ink the edges of those. Let's do the green one first, just since I just did a pink one. All you're gonna need is, good old glue stick. I like my purple ones because they disappear. Then you need some gesso, but you could honestly, so this is my Liquitex Basics. This is just acrylic gesso. But you could use just like white paint, a little like acrylic craft paint, the really cheap stuff. And then your favorite image, but of course I'm using these images because they're fantastic. And then let's see, just some stuff to collage behind it. So I've got some scraps of some Nick the Booksmith papers that I had printed off, like overprints of things. And I have some masking paper scraps, and I've got some sewing paper. This is the last of my sewing patterns, you guys. Oh, so sad. Anyway, so just some stuff to kind of collage in the background. So let's get started. The first part of this is literally just because the packets, I layer them on there, and you could, I guess, just like totally cover the entire page, but there are places here where I've kind of done them askew, so you've got some little spaces here where you do see some things through. So I'm just kind of putting a few things in the background just to make sure. So that's what we're gonna do here with this. But then, like honestly, the gesso ends up covering most of that up. That's kind of how I toned it down a little bit anyway. Oh, I lied about the inking thing. I'm gonna put ink around this really quick. Sorry guys. It'll be quick though. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Tomorrow I will be on to film my giveaway drawing. We'll draw for the giveaway for the masking paper envelopes. We'll just put, oh, look at all the crumblies. That one needs to be replaced. Still works now. Still works for now. So, look, I even broke out a brand new, brand new glue stick. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about the middle of this page at all. What I'm just going to do is go around the edges. And I'm not going to worry about making a gluey mess on here. I don't need a glue book or anything like that because we're just going right on here because this is going to all get covered with all kinds of stuff anyway. So let's put some masking paper. Let's put some, this is some masking paper that is like, has overspray on it from, I don't know if you can tell in the camera. Can you see there's slight shadowing here? That's Tattered Angels from the stuff that I'm working on. It looks like from the comments, and of course I'll have this official tomorrow, but it looks like from most of the comments on that giveaway drawing that most people wanted to see, I think it's going to come up being the storybook. The storybook journal will be next. The next project that I work on my own. Of my own. This is, I'm putting an Artzology project in here. And then I will probably, I have this really cool idea for a Tracy Fox design team project as well. That's like way out of the normal realm of what I do. Kind of. Does that make you wonder what it's going to be? I think it's going to be really fun. And again, it was like one of those days where I was just kind of staring at some of the supplies I was using and going, oh yeah, this would be cool for that. Oops. Okay. And I'm not even worried if glue gets on the front because gesso's going to go over it. I mean, you know, so not worried, not worried. Let's see if we can put that there. Masking paper, you guys. This is so masking paper, right? What it's supposed to be for. I just tear big sheets of it like this and put them down on my table now when I'm doing something messy. And then, you know, like if it gets messiness and stuff on it, look, it's great for collaging with it then. It just works. I think I'm going to put this little strip of that over there. Because again, you're just going to see the edges really of this. Tattered Angels. Have you guys ever used it? I had some that I got at Tuesday Morning like forever long ago, and I didn't really ever work with it, and then I just pulled it out for something and started realizing that when you use it, you get that little shimmer stuff until it dries. That shimmer stuff goes everywhere. Okay, we're gonna put that piece over here. And then I think we'll be done with the background. You know what I love about this? This is in French. I love it. It's my last bit. You guys, I really want some like book pages in French or German, really any other language. I don't have any book pages in other languages. And some more sewing pattern, but like this is in French down here. It's in English up here. Okay. Anyway, there's me dreaming out loud. So here we go. This is just laying, however, kind of like haphazardly is what I was going for. So I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna try to not overthink it. and just lay them down. If one of them has some really cool writing or something, like, so this one doesn't really have much writing on it, so that one I know can kind of be in the background. And some are a little wider than others, and some have very white background. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Ooh, that'd look cool like in a fall journal too. Okay, so this one's flowers are kind of on the side, so we'll put that one there. And then don't worry if there's little bits in the middle there, because we'll tone down the like brightness of that with gesso when we get there. Bulbs and seeds. A flower. And like that. Maybe one more. Some of them are bigger than others too. Okay, what do you think? Looks good, right? There we go. Example. Ours. Okay, I'm gonna try and, you know, get them somewhat roughly in the same place, but it doesn't matter if they're not. Because again, we're making a collage. This is, okay, so what I have to tell myself all the time, this is a collage sheet. The intention of making this collage sheet is that I'm going to like whack it up into chunks anyway. So you're not gonna ever see, I'm so used to like isolating an image or trying to use that image to be the focal point of something. And when I saw all these seed packets, I was like, okay, they're all square. My first inclination is to just use them to like make pockets or, you know, put on the front of an envelope or something like that. And I thought, I've got so many of them in this kit because, like I said, the kit is really generous that way. You get so many of these really great images that I'm thinking, when I kind of was just tossing them around on my desk, I went, this would be just cool to like make a Frankenpaper kind of thing out of. And then I've been watching some Andrea Artie Mays, and I was like, yeah, gesso. I forget about gesso. I forget about layering stuff. So then I was like, yep, that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna make some collage paper as the base of some future taggy goodness. There's that, and then I think this one was like in there. Again, look at, I'm not worried if the glue gets on here because the glue, most of the, any like shininess from the glue or anything will get covered up by, I think I have that one there. Yeah, we'll get covered up when I do some gessoing and stuff. And if there's a little bit of shininess from the glue, who cares? It's just adding. Okay, whoops. I really like this one, so I want that to be on top. So I'm going to put this one down on the corner first, and then that other one. Oh, there comes my husband in the door. If it gets loud, it's because of that. Oh my gosh, you guys, do you watch Gail Agostinelli? If you don't, you should. I was just watching a video of hers this morning as I was crafting, and it was the funniest thing. Her grandson, she's always got grandkids staying with her, and her grandson was staying with her and came down the steps like she was just saying how he was still asleep. And so I'm gonna, let's see, no, let's go ahead and gesso it first. So she was just saying how he was still asleep, but he should be awake because he should be helping his grandpa do something in the yard. And then he came down the steps and she was all concentrating on her video, and then bless her heart, he like scared the crud out of her. And she just left it on video. That's what I love, for real. Okay, so I've got some gesso, just a little bit. It does not take much. So I've got a little bit of it sprayed out here. I've got my brush. Look at that, my brush is super crusty because it's been sitting here drying, but I don't care. The crusty actually works for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my finger too, probably. This is not an exact science, guys. What I'm doing is just kind of choosing some areas and going. Yep, see, there goes the finger. I can't help it. Messy crafting is the best kind. And then, like, where several of them meet, I'm just going to kind of give it a little zhuzh of this in there. Oops, I forgot to silence my phone. Okay, so I'm going to, and then sometimes I just kind of like the little bit of, like dry brushing kind of look that gets on there. And I'm not putting it everywhere. I'm not going everywhere with this. Anywhere where there's just a lot of the real bright green, I'm gonna tone it down just a hair by doing some gesso. But I'm not trying to go everywhere. I like the brightness of a lot of these flowers. So what I'm kind of trying to do, and I think what Andrea does, is like highlights parts of the image, you know, and then kind of tones down other parts of the image. So sometimes she uses, you know, a much thicker application than I am. Oops. I'm not going in with a super thick application right now. And this is gonna be somewhat transparent. It's not gonna be opaque. And it just kind of makes this really cool extra layer on here. And then there's some brightness down here, so I'm going to go with some down here. Kind of like that dry brush right there. Okay, this is the part where I say stop, right? Look at, as I keep going, I say stop. There. So it's hard to show on camera, but there's just, I mean, you could see as I was doing it, right? And then as it dries, it'll just make kind of this like hazy layer around the seed packets, and then we'll be able to slice them. Okay, let's do one more. Here's the problem with why did I gesso first. Oh well. Messy crafting is the best crafting. Okay, let's go. I've got a couple more of these offcuts. I think this was from, these are from like way, way back. I was doing a fairy journal, I think. And I don't even know. These must be from a kid or something. But I was obviously cutting them down to a smaller size book, and I had all these scraps. So that works good for me. You know, I don't know why I'm tearing both sides of it, and this time I'm not going to ink both sides of it because it's only the bottom side that you see, because the rest gets covered. Save some time and effort. Because this part, that straight edge, you're not even going to see. Know what I mean? Oh, yeah, they do. That one's on kind of a cardstock, like an ivory cardstock, but this one is on white paper, and it's got a real white edge. Although, you know, I'm gessoing with white. Oh well. Layers, guys. Layers. I love layers of stuff. So let's glue these down. Okay. I am almost done with a bunch of new stuff for my digis for my shop too. I'm excited about that. I've got a couple new rip strips. I've got, oh, that didn't tear very well. It's okay, we'll use pieces over here. We'll use a piece here and a couple of pieces over here. That'll work. Yeah, I've got some new stuff for my shop, which I'm excited about. One of them was kind of a request from a viewer. So Lorna, if you're watching, I am finishing the kit that you were talking about. And they're all like variations on a theme, kind of. I have to stop myself from, like, sometimes I get on a thing and I just want to do the same types of stuff all the time. But I like to push myself out of my comfort zone. I like to try different things that aren't necessarily what I would just naturally gravitate towards. So, you know, I love nature journals, and I love lots of bright color journals, like this kind of thing as well, florals, and I love this kind of, but you know, bright florals. So I have to try to push myself into other areas because I think that's what keeps me like interested, if that makes sense. So these kits that are coming out that I'm working on are definitely not my usual. Okay, so again, just throwing some down and seeing what sticks. That one's a little dark, so I'm going to try and keep it behind, and that one's kind of the same dark. Oh, it's like one almost black and white. I think we'll throw that one aside for now. Ooh, that one's pretty. Okay, about there-ish. I'm good with that. I'll make them a little more askew as I go. But yeah, let's move them over a bit and start the gluing. Whoa, I'm moving everything around. The first one that I did, I started inking around the edges of these, and I was like, that is silliness, because I'm gonna just gesso around the edges of stuff. Oh, I'm making a mess. I'm throwing stuff around. So if you guys are here in the US, do you have plans for the 4th of July? Do you guys do anything fun or big? We usually go see fireworks. Our city does their fireworks on our city festival, which was like a couple weeks ago, so they don't have any locally for us, but they're like the bigs. We're right next door to Minneapolis, and they do a big display, so we'll probably go see those. My brother and his family might come into town from way up northy. Oh, also, I got, if I can squeeze this in the next few days, like I said, it's about to get crazy up in here, but if I can squeeze it in, last Sunday, our pastor, there had been a memorial service at our church, and he had some leftover flowers and was sending them home with us, which was, I was like, yay! Not, you know, not because the not because I wanted the flowers, 'cause I love flowers, but because there were some daisies, like Gerber daisies and stuff in there, and I'm really excited to try some eco dyeing. And but you know, the flowers will not last forever, so I would need to get to that pretty quick in the next few days here. So I don't know, we'll see. I would love to try though. I've got some muslin, some cotton muslin. I think it'd be really cool for nature journals and stuff. Jibbid, you know, she'll cover a book in her eco-dyed fabric, which is always just fantastic. And then every time I see that, I go, oh, I just want to try it. I need to get my hands on some alum, which is a pickling thing, so it should be fairly available. Okay, there we go. Now, last step, to gesso. And again, my brush is kind of crusty, which I don't mind. And then this gesso, you know, one of the cool things about it, because of course if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that I like my books to have texture to them, like different types of texture even. So one of the cool things about this gesso is that when it dries, it has kind of a sandy feel to it. I'm going to kind of just go around this flowers a little bit here, right here. It has kind of a sandy feel to it, so it adds just kind of this nice feel to it. I'm going right around this flower. Trying to channel Andrea here. Highlight some flowers. Like I said, you know, if you don't have gesso, also if you don't have gesso, you could totally use acrylic paint. That would work for this, and it would act fairly similar to this, except it just wouldn't have that, you know, little bit of texture to it. But that's fine. You don't need that by any means. I just happen to have it because I used to paint canvases and lay down a layer of gesso first. Okay. What I was going to say before, where I'm painting, and of course you probably won't be able to see this. No. Right here, the gesso is actually picking up a little bit of the dye from around the edge, the Distress Oxide that I used, and it's kind of even tinting this and making it even a little more vintage-y looking, which is kind of cool. I'm just using my super scruffy brush to kind of put a little bit of extra stuff on. Just getting a little bit of extra off of there. Okay. Well, I think I'm satisfied. Oh, maybe a little bit on this edge, just to tone down this edge here. Make sure I'm still in frame. I hope I've been in frame. Usually I check the viewfinder a little bit more, but I haven't been. Okay, I think I'm good with that one. So we've got 3 sheets now of this wonderful fodder for making tags. As you can see, this one, as it's drying, wants to curl up. So it's starting to curl and bend. What I'm going to do is go put these 3 sheets of this underneath some heavy books to dry thoroughly, so that hopefully it'll be a little flatter. And I will then see you guys in another video very soon, where we will start slicing these up. Well, I'll decide what the heck I'm doing with them, how I'm going to do it, we'll slice them up and make some tags or journal cards or pockets or whatever we're going to do with them. But these are pretty fantastic. I'm happy with the way they turned out. I'm proud of myself for layering and not having to isolate images. Yay! Growth, guys. All right. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon, morning, evening, middle of the night, wherever it is on this planet you are, and I will see you again very, very soon. Much love to you guys. God bless. See ya. Bye-bye.